Hello everybody, and my apologies for not doing a video for some time, as I have not been that well over the last about week or so. But back again now, so just wanted to do a quick video on my reaction to the so-called attempted assassination of Donald Trump a few hours ago. Anyway, so just to give the background to this a bit. Trump was at a fairly well-known hotel in Washington, where he was attending a dinner for the press. In attendance was himself, members of both his administration and the Democrats and Republicans, as well as members of the press. It would seem that an armed individual managed to penetrate at least one cordon of the of security there and get close enough so that shots could be heard by the president on the podium. Of course, he was rushed away, because that's what you do when your head of state could possibly be shot. The assailant was taken into custody. He was taken alive, unlike a previous attempt on Trump, where the assailant was actually killed during it. And this resulted in a lot of speculation as to what is going on in the States. Well, first things first, whether or not this is actually a real event or it was a false flag is kind of irrelevant. The Trump is going to try to make hay out of this and play the victim card with regards to it. He's going to make a big deal out of it to try and get what he wants, and it was pretty clear what he wanted from his response to it afterwards, which is basically a very large ballroom that was on the site of what was once the east wing of the White House. This ballroom has already been put on hold thanks to the Supreme Court or a judicial ruling, and so he is now making the claim that he needs it for security reasons. Doesn't that sound familiar? You need Greenland for security reasons. You need the control of Panama Canal for security reasons. You need to go after Maduro in Venezuela for security reasons, and you need to engage in a war in Iran for security reasons. So this idea of security reasons is going to be thrown about the place now as justification for getting this particular ballroom built. Will it? I don't know. It's unlikely that it'll actually work, but he will try it anyway. There is speculation also that it is going to boost his ratings, but you know what? America is so polarized right now that if you don't, those who don't like Trump really don't like Trump. Those who do like Trump really do like Trump, and there's very little middle ground. There's very little. It reminds me quite a bit of the situation in Northern Ireland in the past, not so much today, where you were a unionist, you were a nationalist, and if you didn't like it, there was no real middle ground. But so is it going to boost his ratings? He might hope it will, but it won't. It probably won't. My primary thoughts with regard to this, however, are the fact that trying to go after Trump and assassinate him now, which, if this was the case, this was actually an assassination attempt on him, which the jury's still out on that, is a notoriously bad idea. Why? Because you're going to make the man into a martyr, and once he's made into a martyr, you are never going to be able to get to rid yourself of his movement or of his supporters. Look at the neo-Nazi movement, for an example. Hitler committed suicide at the end of World War II, even though And even though his armies and his nation were completely decimated, there are still those who admire him, still those who follow his lead, still those who believe that the Nazi regime was actually a pretty positive thing and should be emulated. This is what's going to happen with Trump if you end up assassinating the man. If he dies in office of natural causes, so be it. People will mourn, his supporters will mourn a great leader, while the rest of us will feel intense feeling of relief, I'd say. But to actually go out of your way to kill him is not such a great idea. Parallels to Irish history. Well, 1916 rebellion. The British basically decimated the centre city of Dublin in a rebellion that was really unpopular here. We had achieved an agreement with Britain in 1914 to have a regional parliament and what we call devolution today, what was called Home Rule back then. When the 1916 rebellion took place, the people of Dublin really did not support it, and it ended up devastating the city. In fact, there were calls in the newspapers for the rebel leaders to be thrown into jail and the key to be thrown away. But that all changed completely once the British started assassinating or killing the leaders. So they had mock trials and secretly, and then executed the leadership and several other individuals as well who were connected to the leadership, including people as loosely connected as the brother of one of the leaders. These turned these individuals into martyrs for the Irish Republican cause, and they're still considered to be great heroes in Ireland today. So one of the worst things you can do is create martyrs for a side that you're opposed to. So please, if anybody in the States is thinking of assassinating Donald Trump, leave the man alone, all right? With any luck, the elections later on this year will actually get rid of most of his more severe power. He's already being curtailed by the courts in a large way, and his popularity has basically reached rock bottom. So we're coming into I think we're past the worst stages of his presidency. That's all, of course, presupposing there's going to be an election. But anyway, we'll discuss that some other time when we're coming close to the election itself. But please don't make a martyr out of him, because once you have a martyr, it's very difficult to change a cause. Right, have a nice day. Goodbye.